Since 1967, Stroud Water Research Center has focused on one thing: fresh water, by advancing knowledge and stewardship of freshwater systems through global research, education, and watershed restoration. Learn more at stroudcenter.org.
Water. No life on Earth can be sustained without it. But few of us ever think to ask, where does our drinking water come from? And how do we know it's safe? This is White Clay Creek, a 19-mile tributary that meanders through southeastern Pennsylvania. At times, the white clay is less than 2 feet wide, but as it travels south, it merges with other creeks and streams, and by the time it reaches Delaware, it has grown large enough to be the source of drinking water for 100,000 people.
Most people don't think about their water. Unless it tastes funny, it looks funny, or doesn't come out, they don't think about it.
Every day, 18 million gallons of water from the White Clay Creek are purified here at the Suez water treatment plant in Wilmington, Delaware.
The water purification process really can be boiled down to some simple notions, okay? Water is brought into the treatment plant, all the particles and all the harmful potential things inside of that water are removed, and then the water is sent out to the customer with some disinfectant added to make sure it stays safe as it's being delivered to the home.
A few miles upstream from the Suez plant, you'll find Dr. Jin-Jun Khan, a leading expert in the study of microbes, organisms so small that 100,000 of them can be found in a single drop of water.
So in most of my career, I investigate what kind of microbes live out there and how they distribute and what they are doing for us.
Most microbes are essential for life. They break down dead organisms, help us digest our food, and actually create the oxygen we breathe. Today, Dr. Khan is collecting samples that will help him determine the health of White Clay Creek. What Dr. Khan hopes he won't find here is evidence of the small percentage of microbes that threaten humans. They're called microbial contaminants.
So microbial contaminants is some potential bacteria or some microscopic organisms which can be dangerous to human beings.
Microbial contaminants aren't visible to the naked eye, so until recently, identifying the source was difficult and time-consuming. But now, new enzyme-based technology allows Dr. Khan to employ a method called source tracking. By feeding special food to the microbes in his water samples, Dr. Khan can quickly determine if microbial contaminants are present by the fluorescent color they produce. Then, he uses DNA to quickly determine the culprit, anything from a cow grazing in an open stream to a migrating Canadian goose.
Microbial contaminants, normally you can find them from the broken septic systems, the dairy farms, from the animals, and wildlife as well. And the scientific question we'll try to answer here is how many of those microbes we can find in the waters. And if we have a high number of them, we try to figure out where they come from and try to help people to reduce the potential sources, reduce the potential contaminants.
The actual process of purifying water is difficult to see. It begins in large basins that separate sediment and sand, and then the water is moved through a series of sophisticated filters. The goal is the same as that of Dr. Khan and his fellow researchers, to make sure that harmful contaminants are kept out of the water supply.
We do work with the researchers like those at the Stroud Water Research Center. We actually have worked with them on projects upstream because it's cheaper and easier to keep pollution out than it is to take it out once it gets to the treatment plant.
Dr. Khan's research, along with the work at plants like Suez, has long-lasting and far-reaching implications. If sources of contamination can be pinpointed and then quickly remedied, huge steps will have been taken to ensure that the water that comes into our homes will be safer than ever.